So today we're going to be looking at Directions dye in the color Midnight Blue. I have my swatches labeled 1 through 12, but that is not synonymous with hair levels, if that's not obvious. 1 is green, 2 is a bright red, 3 is a natural red, 4 is black, and then from 4 up to 11 we have a range that goes to platinum blonde, and then number 12 is like the toned, cool tone version of the platinum blonde. I'll be taking the dye directly from the container, and I'll be putting at the top of each swatch. And then some people do like to dilute their dyes, so I'll be putting the diluted part on the bottom of each swatch. Always keep in mind that everyone's hair is different, which means everyone's hair will take dye differently, which means your hair may not turn out like my swatches. Almost all of my swatches have been dyed and processed before, so if you have virgin hair that's never been dyed, there's a chance that it will definitely not take dye as well as my swatches do. No matter what, it's always best to do as much research as possible, especially if you are dyeing your hair yourself. So for the diluted portion, we're going to be doing a 3-to-1 ratio. That is 1 part of the dye and 3 parts diluter. I've had some people ask, and no, you do not need to dilute a dye to make it work. There's a variety of reasons why people will dilute their dyes, but essentially it just lightens the color of the dye. Alright, I'm going to let these sit for about 3 hours. Once they are rinsed and dried, we'll come back here and do some comparisons. So the dye is pretty dark, which makes it a little bit hard to see. Later on in the video, I'll be doing close-ups, and I added a little bit of extra light in there, so it should be a little bit easier to see. To me, this is a very, very pigmented dye. I would say dyed everything except number 4 obviously is black, so it usually doesn't take color. And then I would say from 5 to 8, it almost looks black on the direct dye. Number 8 does hold a little bit more blue, but generally it does look like a blackish blue. And even it being diluted, it still maintains that deepness, even though it's lighter, if that makes sense. Number 2, that was the red swatch before, and I mostly put that in there because I wanted to see if it would turn purple, which it kind of does, but it's more like a muted purple. I haven't done too many blues like this. This is kind of a cool tone blue, I would say, very true blue. A lot of the other blues I've done are a little bit more green. So the first comparison I'd like to do is technically a purple. My camera picks it up looking a little bit more purple than I see it personally. To me it looks a little bit more blue. And this is Good Dye Young's People Eater. This is comparable to number 12, number 11, number 10, number 9, number 8, and number 7. Comparing the People Eater to a blue does kind of help to show the purple in it, but they are both very, very pigmented dyes, and on both of them, 7 and 8 look almost black. To me, People Eater is like an indigo. My next comparison is going to be Manic Panic in the color After Midnight. This is comparable to number 12, number 11, number 10, number 9, and number 8. The After Midnight definitely pulls a lot more green, not quite as cool toned. See, if I wrap it around my finger where you can only see the After Midnight, they're both a little bit deeper, but I would say the Directions dye is definitely darker. And you can even tell on number 8, 8 kind of looks like a greenish color, not quite black, whereas the Directions number 8 almost, like I said, looks black. I'd say the most similar is maybe the toned swatch, but even then, it still just holds slightly less cool tone for Manic Panic. Maybe if I just cover it up like that. Is that helpful? I did do a swatch for number 1 too, that's green. So that's that. I don't think the green undertones in the first swatch really did much to the Directions dye. It still looks very blue, but I guess it's not quite as cool toned as the light blonde swatches. The next comparison I'd like to do is Blue Jean Baby from Arctic Fox. This one is a little bit more cool toned and muted, but it's not going to be quite as dark as this one. This is comparable to number 12, number 11, number 10, number 9, and number 8. So even though Blue Jean Baby is a little bit more muted, it still holds a bit more green compared to the Directions Midnight Blue. Even though Blue Jean Baby is also a deeper dye, when you get to number 8, I feel like the Midnight Blue looks a little bit more intentional versus the Blue Jean Baby. And even though Blue Jean Baby can dye like darker blonde, I would say it still looks a little bit better on the lighter blonde. So like I said, I haven't done a lot of blues that are this cool toned. So that's going to be it for the comparisons. Let's get into the close-ups. It's kind of been a gloomy week where I live, so I tried doing something new with the lighting, and hopefully it doesn't look too bad, but I did put the lighting in different spots for before I died versus after, and hopefully that doesn't bother you too much. Just wanted to throw that out there though. I hope this video helped. If you have a request, I do have a link in the description below to a Google form you can fill out that gets submitted directly to me. Just remember, I only do dyes that are not tested on animals. Thank you so very much to my patrons, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.